Guys, it's Isabella. We're back for some more r slash no sleep. So I'm sorry I have to do this on my phone again, but the stupid recording software broke on me because I don't have Wi-Fi and I don't want to drive to my dad's just to use it for Wi-Fi. So we're just gonna do it on my phone. But it's a lot easier. But I'm sorry that the screen is like a screen when you record with a phone. Anyways, today we're going to be reading Every Night a Truck Drives Around My Apartment Complex Playing a Strange Warning. I think this is 3 parts, so I'm going to read part 1, and yeah, let's get right into it. Basically, as the title says, each night at approximately 1 a.m. Central Time, an old white truck drives laps around my apartment complex's building lot, blasting a weird warning. Caution, please remain indoors. Do not exit your home under any circumstances. Please stay calm. Caution, please remain indoors. Do not exit your home under any circumstances. Please remain calm. And it loops and weaves through the scattered cars and echoes around the lifeless lot along the dismembered body speaker of an old Ford F-150 with a metal overhang above its bed. The first time I saw the truck was a couple days ago after my girlfriend Lex and I moved in. Being off of work the next day, I had stayed up late grinding out the missions in an MMO. Muffled through my headset, the now familiar warning began playing. I walked over to the front window and took a peek. I'd assumed the truck was our complex's maintenance staff responding to a late-night pseudo emergency. Its windows were empty, black tinted to match the void above, and it wasn't until the statement looped once more that I realized it was coming from the rundown vehicle. I watched through the window as the truck slowly rolled through the lot, past my building, and began to let its lap round. My complex is basically set up like a large square, the perimeter of which is made up of various buildings, quadplexes of varying architectural styles and times. The center of the square, its focal point, if you will, is the squat reception building, and usually staffed with no more than a single employee. It was around this central building I watched the old white truck crawl over and over, around and around, until finally the warning ceased its loop, and the truck casually turned down the drive and sped away. Lex was asleep during this first sighting, but I was sure to tell her about it the next morning. It was only a week later until she had experienced it for herself. It was a rainy night morning when we rolled into our sad little splice of life. The car's flickering dashboard proclaiming the time to be just after 1 a.m. I believe it was 1:12 for anyone craving specifics. We had been out with some of her old friends from college, and it was nice seeing her come out of her otherwise impenetrable shell, even if some alcohol was required. We weren't the type to go bar hopping, but still aren't. But every now and then, someone convinces us to take one for the team. I had only a couple of hard ciders over the course of the night, and such became an unintentionally designated driver for my less than sober partner. We were busy jamming to some nostalgic early 2000s pop songs, and then suddenly it was deafening as I pulled into my usual spot and removed the key from the ignition. My ears rang slightly from the music, and the engine rattled dully beneath the rhythmic thrum of rain against the windshield. It would have been a peaceful moment if not for the blaring warning we suddenly found ourselves subjected to. Caution, it began, Lex's eyes widening in the muted fluorescence of the automatic interior lights. I started to say something, but was shushed instantly. Please remain indoors. Do not exit your home under any circumstances. Please remain calm. My girlfriend, ever curious, was always down to discuss the creepy and unnerving, reached for her door's handle. My hand instinctively snapped out and latched onto her bicep, and I shook my head. The rain came down in sheets, adding a strange pattern to the background of our scene. Splotches of dim light threw shadows across the vehicle's interior as the truck passed slowly behind our parked car. Caution! It began again, the sound unwarped by the gallons of water pouring over the pavement, and blinds came down over a previously empty window on the building in front of us. What the fuck? She mouthed silently. We sat in silence, listening only to the rain and the voice of another 20 minutes or so, only exiting the car when we saw the truck's headlights fade into the distance. About a month after we moved in, the couple across the hall from us finally introduced themselves. My partner and I are both relatively anxious people and don't necessarily go out of our way to expand our friend group. That being said, the couple was nice enough, and after we invited them in for a couple of drinks, I got my chance to hopefully get some answers. So, how you guys liking the complex? The woman, let's call her Maddie, asked between sips of Crown Apple and Sprite. Aside from the landlords... the man Doug interjected playfully. We already know their shit, I said for a laugh. It's good, Lex said enthusiastically. Except for the laundry building, I guess. It's pretty sure it's been closed since we got here. I saw my chance down in the rest of my old fashioned and took it. And the weird speaker system that plays at night, I asked sheepishly, not smooth. Doug's smile flickered slightly. The short silence was uncomfortable, and he made a slow show of looking left and right in feel paranoia. You're not supposed to know about that, he said and paused. The room fell silent again, and for a split second before he burst into laughter. I'm just fucking with you, he wheezed. A dumb as dick grin plastered across his face. That shit's creepy, right? I forced a smile, slightly annoyed. Damn right it's creepy. I mean, what even is that? I'm pretty sure it's not even the apartment that plays it. No, no, it's a fucking truck, Maddie cuts in, suddenly interested. An old beater of a thing. Yeah, tinted windows and failing headlights. We saw it out there when we got home late one night. My girlfriend said, happy to be discussing a weird topic. Silence. It was Doug who finally spoke. Well, I mean, did you do it? Doug swirled the drink around his glass. Do what? I asked, confused. Go outside, Doug roared, seemingly furious. I sank back into my chair, suddenly frightened and on edge. No, I mean, we did, but the truck drove away after a while. Within a second, Doug was on his feet, and his glass had left his hand, now sailed across the room wall, where it shattered in prismatic display of ice and overpriced liquor. You fucking listen to that warning, do you understand me? You don't play with things you don't understand. Fucking apes and hydrogen colliders, the ignorant displays of facade of brilliance only shattered by the idiotic of doing. Maddie was on her feet now, grabbing at Doug's arm in an attempt to get him to stop, but it seemed like he was forgetting to breathe. What kind of shepherd would lead his flock to the precipice of an inexistent? How many worms? Doug fell onto the floor in a fit of spasms. Maddie was screaming now, slapping Doug's cheek. He's a fucking epileptic! Maddie screamed, rolling Doug onto his side, holding him still against the misfiring muscles. What the fuck was that about? What the fuck was he talking about? Lexi yelled at her, coming out from behind me. He has episodes. He's on medication, but it doesn't get rid of them completely. Do I call an ambulance? No! Madison said defiantly. We can't afford any more hospitals. I promise him this is the next time it happened. I take care of him myself. Doug flopped there, gurgling, gasping until his eyes finally snapped open and he laid still. Incident report 7G0X redacted police station. May 13th, 2024, 12:07 a.m. Accidental death. Witness 1, statement below. Unintelligible sobbing. Witness statement 2. Those eyes, man, I can't close mine without seeing them. The sickly red of bursting blood vessels. Witness 2 retches into a nearby trash can. He looked at me, after a seizure or whatever, and his eyes snapped open like a gaping maw and swallowed my whole gaze. Detective Reyes wrote something in his notepad. I think he wanted me to tell me something, wanting me to know something. Witness 2 retches again. Witness 3 statement below. Unintelligible sobbing. End of report. I wanted to include this report here because I truthfully don't know what else to convey in the events of that despicable night, the night of which I'll be attempting to flay from the deep recesses of my mind for the rest of my life. We sat in the peeling leather chairs for over an hour before the cops sent us home. My mind was a fucking maelstrom, flinging through the empty questions about my brain ruthlessly. They asked Maddie to stay longer, hoping to get some answers when she calmed down. I don't remember the drive home, its contents blurred by the barrage of my brain. I remember turning off the car, grabbing the door handles, and being pulled forcefully back into the present moment. Though it wasn't the mayhem of my mind that forced my attention back to reality, but a familiar static-filled whine. Caution! I looked at the time on the dashboard, my tears welling up in my eyes. 1:24 a.m. Lex began sobbing. Please remain indoors. I declined my seat, climbed in the back, and pulled Lex with me. Do not exit your home under any circumstances. We're both crying now, holding each other tight against the end of the world. Please remain calm. We woke in the early hours of the new day, blind to the exterior movements of life. Numb, we climbed to the staircase of our apartment and walked inside. Careful to step over the invisible corpse in which we would forever rot into the floor of our soulless, Lixie stripped off her clothes, now tainted with the intangible fear of death, and climbed into the shower robotically. I walked straight into the bedroom, sat at my desk, and turned on the computer. This leads me to now. The reception building, even if it's staffed today, opens less than an hour. I'm going to take a second to screw my head back on and go ask them straight. Considering the truck leaves when this broadcast is over, I do not have high hopes of the complex staff knowing anything, but I do have something. I feel like I'm going mad. Bruh, what? Dude, I even sometimes like I hear there'll be ice cream trucks playing, and sometimes I get really paranoid that it's not an ice cream truck and that it's just something more creepy. But I don't know. Every time I just hear the standard just ice cream noise or ice cream truck sound, it just freaks me out. I don't know why, but I just think I read too much of these to where it's just like, oh, there's an ice cream truck playing. Really? Well, it's not what you think. It's some kind of murderous truck or with the creepy person inside. I don't know. That's just where my brain goes. Anyways, this is part one. I think there's three parts, so you'll get part two and three soon. That's basically it. If you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and hit the bell so you're notified videos which daily. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.